Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and tonight I'm joined by a bunch of other nerds, and we're going to play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. With that, we have Nerdarchist Ted with us, of course, our illustrious Dungeon Master, Megan R. Miller. We also have Nerditor Doug in the house, and Stephen Partridge, a writer over for Nerdarchy. Megan is also a writer for Nerdarchy as well. With that, I'm just going to hand it over to you, DM.
Awesome. Much appreciated. Salutations, nerds. I am author Megan R. Miller, and I will be your dungeon master this evening. I am an indie sci-fi and fantasy author, and my books can be found at Amazon.com. If you're interested in weird fiction, my work might be up your alley. Tonight, our esteemed heroes are gearing up to head back to Canopy to take new bird friend Rainbow to meet their scholarly contact, Alec, who sent them down here in the first place to retrieve a rainbow feather from the Temple of Glass. Now, before I turn the world on, I'm going to roll this d4, and whoever it lands on is going to kick us off. As usual, I want you to introduce yourselves, your characters, and give your previously on for what happened last session. And we are starting with Doug tonight.
Hey, I'm Nerder Doug, and I am playing Vent, a fire genasi barbarian who grew up on the elemental plane of fire and came to the material plane seeking his destiny, following just omens and things that he perceived. And last session started with us having a magical sensation caused by starlight from some constellations that we surmised might be related to our quest. And we all learned how to shoot a solar blast and heal each other with this cosmic energy that infuses us now. We went back. Oh, and the pillars of light, we figured there must be 7 of us now, siblings. Because that was, how many of those areas there were to light up. There's that so many stars in the constellation, yeah. And then, yada yada, we talked a lot and encountered, or some of us did, my mom, who Ben has never met, and is living in the city of Luster, but he didn't feel comfortable meeting with her just yet, so we decided to pursue our main quest goal and get that rainbow feather back to camp.
Dave.
All right, so I don't know. I felt Doug summed it up really good. Although we had some cool reveals and a lot of role playing last session, which Unga kind of revealed a little bit that he might have a darker side to him, or he fears he has a darker side. But luckily, Prudence was there to talk him down and talk some sense into him, which she's very grateful for. And also, he's very concerned about what's going on with Vent and this new discovery of Vent's mom. Could Vent possibly be leaving us?
Ted.
We had basically gotten back to the town, and we found out that there were people who were looking for us specifically. So we had to sneak our way in town. We went through, the back door to get to the inn. We got some information, and this is, where we did that thing that the party is never supposed to do. We split up, and a couple of us went into town to be able to say, look, what's actually going on. We fully expected to be captured and kidnapped and thrown into jail or worse. And it was, Vent and Unga who were going to try and break the two of us out if things went awry, but it was not. We found out that, our departed sister who, we met was there kind of lounging in a chair near the throne, and that, the queen of this particular city introduced herself, eventually as Vent's mom, and it was really shocking. And when we went back, I fully expected Vent to be all right, let's go meet and do this, and he's nah, let's just go. So, there's kind of a little bit of a emotional turmoil amongst the party as to what is the correct thing to do. But it was decided that Vent is our leader, so if Vent says off to Canopy we go, we go. But I will be playing Galesan Trisrel. I am a half-elf shadow sorcerer. So I guess Stephen, take it away.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Stephen Partridge, and I'm playing Prudence. And yeah, last session we did have a lot of character development, character reveals. We found out that just as Galason is really good with people because he was kind of raised to be that way. He's maybe not so good in the intellect department, and didn't really necessarily pick up on Vent's mom until it was made pretty obvious to him. Vent was confronted with this fact, and also with, oh, by the way, in case you didn't realize, you're our leader now. And so he now officially has that responsibility on his shoulders, though most of the rest of us already knew that was a thing. And then we had a very heartfelt, in-depth conversation between Unga and Prudence, where each of them sort of was able to reveal their own vulnerabilities a little bit, and it was super sweet and touching. It ended in a hug, and it seems as though all of our characters may have a few more insecurities than first realized.
All right. And so before we get started, is there any upkeep, any shopping, anyone you guys want to check in with before we get the session rolling?
Besides Issa, no.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think we're good.
All right, cool. All right, so I believe last we checked, you guys were headed back to Canopy.
Yep, as planned. And we were bringing Rainbow with us because we thought they would enjoy that bird Aarakocra village.
All right, yeah, Rainbow is fairly excited to be traveling, and like when you guys hit the that barrier between this magical desert and the jungle, like Rainbow just sort of starts like flying around you guys and then like into the trees, and you kind of like lose sight of them for a minute as they like vanish into the foliage. Silence.
Whoa. I lost track of Rainbow. Get lost pretty easily in here.
Well, yeah, and also, do you hear that?
Hear what?
Exactly. There should be noises.
You are correct. We are in a jungle.
I will try and attempt to kind of strain my hearing to see if I can hear anything.
Can I assist him with that?
How?
Like basically participate too, or maybe like ask him if he hears certain things.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay.
So Prudence is going to go like this to my ears.
Like right with her head right next to yours?
Yeah.
Is it like eerily silent the moment we step past the threshold of this? Today I learned was a magical desert.
No, I promise you, I told you this before when we were talking about like luster and how it's partially on the.
Oh yeah. But the desert
fire.
Itself is like unusual that it's there. Okay.
Yes.
So that's,
you don't get deserts right next to the jungle.
Sure.
Like,
hey.
That's a 21.
All right. So you do hear things. They're just further out from where you're standing. You know, like just in this area for whatever reason, the animals have dispersed.
I will.
But you can hear the ruffle of leaves as Rainbow just kind of like flies around up there.
Okay. It's all right, Sheldon. Rainbow's fine. And with that,
does it look like Rainbow's like flying ahead and like waiting, for like he's trying to lead us through jungle, or is just flying, randomly?
Just flying. Occasionally you'll catch glimpses of colorful plumage.
Okay.
But
I'll follow Unga's lead.
Unga?
Yeah, we will. I will follow in the direction we're going. Hopefully, Rainbow's going the right way.
Well, wait a minute. How did we get here? Did we have trouble navigating this jungle?
No, we came from.
I mean, yeah, you can see like the edge of the jungle from Luster, and you can definitely see Luster from the edge of the jungle. It's just a distance, and you can kind of like see where you're going.
Right.
It's where Canopy is. So.
Right. Well, your survival skills have gotten us through many adventures already, Unga.
And I will take point and keep every once in a while just whistle to Rainbow to try and keep Rainbow within our kind of like perimeter.
I will kind of, trying to fulfill this role of leader that they have thrust upon me. I'll like turn back to the others and be like, Unga's gonna take point, and he's gonna follow Rainbow to make sure he keeps him in sight.
So, first of all, Rainbow has no idea where they're going. They're just kind of flying in circles and, like, checking out the jungle. But I need you to give me a perception check, Unga.
All right.
What he's doing right now is scanning the land ahead.
I love the fact that you're narrating.
Oh, we've got Frags in the chat. Hi, Frags.
Oh, hey.
That is going to be a 19 or 18. 18 numbers.
Okay, so Unga, you are sure of two things simultaneously. The first is that this pocket of silence, like where the animals just don't want to come close to where you're standing, it's following you as you're walking. And the second is you're not alone in it. There is something else here. You just don't see it, but you can hear footsteps.
Oh.
Very light ones, but you hear them all the same.
I whisper I drop down in like a 3-point stance with my axe out dramatically. We have company. I know you're there. Show yourself.
There's a quiet, rustling laugh, and the laugh almost sounds like wind through the leaves. Like there isn't a proper voice projecting it, and it's coming from somewhere above you now.
So I'm kind of like trying to track it with my eyes. Up above us.
And you can see like the distortion of the leaves above you, but not whatever it is that's causing it. You can kind of see a rough outline amid the leaves if you really focus down hard. And then the whispering that you hear again is that like rustle of like almost just the rustle of wind instead of a proper voice. I knew it wouldn't take long to find you.
Who are you?
Does the voice sound familiar?
What's next?
No. What was that, Gleason?
I said, well, you found us. What's next?
Hopefully a death. Hopefully a retrieval. And then I'm going to need you guys to roll initiative.
Oh,
Do you have
right out the gate.
Oh, I'm going to use my new, whatever they're called, metal alloy dice. Digital dice. Clink. They're made of brass. That's a 6. I'll put it in the chat.
All right, so I have got Vent. Unga, what you got?
I got a 6. Did it not show up?
All right. We're twinsies.
Okay, so you both have 6. Which of you is going first?
Oh, probably Unga. I have my dex is +2 modifier, if that is how you want to do it.
Also a +2 modifier.
Then I have a 22 for Gleason.
Gonna roll off. I'm gonna roll a real die.
And Prudence.
4.
15.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So here we go. Unga, you're up front, and honestly, how tall is Unga? Out of curiosity.
He's on the tall side. He is 6'7".
Okay.
He's short next to Vent, but
So Vent
Not
is
bad.
taller, but you are definitely wider, and I'm going to say that makes you the most physically imposing person here. So
Yeah, that's the way I always pictured it.
an 8 is definitely not going to hit your AC. But I'm gonna guess a 22 does.
22. Yep, that gets it done.
All right, so you take 7 bludgeoning damage as just this. It just feels like a wall of air slams into you from the side, and then Gleason is up.
All right.
You
So
still
do
see nothing.
We don't. Say that again, please.
You still see nothing.
Still see nothing. But something flew out from up above.
Yes, and just knocked into Unga.
I'm gonna step off to the side, like try to move away from my siblings, so I'm at least 15 foot away, and then I will cloak the area in darkness around me.
Okay. So just around yourself or around everybody?
No, around me. I'm using sorcery points to cast darkness.
Okay. Is that turn?
I do believe so.
Just noped out.
Homer Simpson
Alright.
style.
Yeah.
In that case,
well,
Prudence.
I'm
Sorry.
setting up once this person is,
Yeah, we're just.
I now have, super advantage on my spells to hit them, and meanwhile, my darkness won't affect you guys. But if you want to jump in and get out of the fray, that is your call.
Let's get dark.
You've seen this tactic before.
Yeah.
Right. Prudence, you are up.
Okay. I would like to. Okay, I have something I want to do, and I just want you to tell me what of this I can do in this turn. I want to get this person talking, and then as soon as they say something, I want to cast Fairy Fire where I think the voice is.
All right. So what are you going to do to get them talking?
I'm going to say, what exactly do you need to retrieve?
So, you don't exactly get them talking, but they are not, you do hear that wispy laugh, so you do get your bearings, you do get a direction.
Okay. And I want to cast Fairy Fire in that place.
Okay. Alright, so is Fairy Fire a saving throw, or do you...
It's a saving throw.
Okay, yes, good. What saving throw?
It is
Dex.
let me look, a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, 21.
Yeah, that doesn't, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just pretty sparkles in an area, nothing happens.
Good plan, though. I mean, it was a solid thought. Unga, you're up.
So I call out to Sheldon. Sheldon, lights out maneuver, and Sheldon scuttles into the darkness. Sheldon has blind sight. Can 30 feet. Before lights out, spot. So I want Sheldon to point to where Sheldon thinks this thing is.
Okay. Well, if Sheldon has blind sight, then that's the better one than Tremor Sense, yes? Or is it that there's blind sight and blind sense, which is the good one?
Blind sense is the really, really good one.
Okay.
And only rogues get it, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Sheldon, I'm gonna allow this anyway, though. So you see the claw point in a direction before he just kind of like scuttles back into the darkness like a ninja.
Yeah. So okay.
That is awesome.
Where does Sheldon point?
Like just right next to you.
Okay. Well, then in that case, I will swing my great axe.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 24 or disadvantage. Oh, a 9. Does a 9 by chance hit?
I know a 9 does not by chance hit, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thankfully I'm 5th level and I get another shot.
You hear that wispy laughing again.
Yep, that's going to be a 16 or a... It's going to be a 16.
Okay. So you hit.
All right. So that
and it's like hitting an air current. Like it's almost like there isn't even anything physical
Like a
there
cushion.
when you... Yeah.
These freaking metal dice. It was on the 11 and it tipped to the 3. So 7 points of damage.
All right. Vent.
So I imagine I was somewhat near Unga and I see him slashing at something, and I am going to utter in Primordial some curse, and I will invoke Argenvar's name, who is my brass dragon dad. And as I'm saying, I always wanted to do, I've been waiting so long to do this, and I'll draw claw and bite And since I have extra attack, I'm going to claw bite at this whatever invisible thing that my brother's swinging at.
All right, and you know where you're swinging at because Unga is swinging there.
Oh, okay. So let's see. First claw. 15.
All right, that is still a disadvantage because you can't see it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying you know where
Sure,
you're aiming.
Oh, right. Then 13.
All right, that unfortunately does not hit,
Sure.
but I believe you still have 2 more attacks.
Yep. We're going to follow it up with another claw. Disadvantage. So that's probably going to, 11. Yeah, no, that missed. All right. So, and then bite. I'll just go in for I'll hold it like the other way and like stab down with bite. And that is going to be, I'll miss. All right. So he's just like, I'm like, what are we stabbing at? Did I see him? I wouldn't even have seen him get hit or anything. It's just like an invisible force, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a... it's just like stirring up the air around.
I'll just like look at Unga quizzically and be like, what are we swinging at here?
I don't know. It hits like the wind, though.
Well, we are close to a planar area, but anyways, that's my turn.
All right, cool. So that's 18 on its first attack and 18 on its second attack. Unga? Does an 18 hit your AC?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So close.
So that's going to be a total of 19 bludgeoning damage you were slammed into by this, hard current of air again. Galason.
I will fire 4 beams of fire in the direction of where my brothers are fighting.
Okay.
That is a 15.
That hits.
A 18.
Also hits.
1.
Which does not.
21 doesn't?
No, oh, I thought you said 1. Okay, yeah, 21 definitely hits.
1. They have all just been climbing, and then 23. So
okay, yeah, you get 4 solid hits in.
$25 points of fire damage.
Okay. Dang it. I was using my number pad to write down the damage, and it was not hit to numlock, so I paged down and had to go back and find the initiative tracker. Prudence, you're up.
All right. So I've seen that this thing's using wind, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to kneel down, and I touch the ground and begin whispering in Infernal. And as I do, mist begins just creeping in from the surrounding plant life as I cast Fog Cloud.
Okay. What does that do?
So let me pull it up here. You create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration, which is up to 1 hour, or until a wind of moderate or greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, disperses it.
Oh. Okay. So is the idea here that this windy creature is going to be like disturbing the fog and it'll give you guys an idea where it is?
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys no longer have disadvantage to attack this thing.
Yes.
Do you have anything else for these?
I would like to mimic her laugh, or their laugh. I guess I don't know it's a woman.
All right. A+. You do this. Unga, you're up.
All right. Sheldon, sick 'em. And Sheldon will rush out and attempt to grab them in his pinchers. Oh, wow. I wish that was my attack. So that's a nat 20.
Woo!
Let's see. How much damage do you do, Sheldon? And they're grappled. And
Unfortunately, the creature that is made of air cannot be grappled or restrained.
son of a.
Mm.
There goes that idea. But we tried. They're going to take 4 points of damage.
Excellent.
I will bonus action to Hunter's Mark. And then I will wade in with my great axe. Ooh, I think that's going to be a dirty 20.
That certainly hits.
Nice.
So that's going to be a 8 plus 2. So 10 points of damage.
Okay. And then we have Vent.
So is this thing have any sort of form that it's like discernible, or you could just tell like where it's, you know?
Yeah, you can see where the mist is being dispersed, where this thing
Okay,
is.
great. Well, then I'll just say, there you are, and I'll claw bite again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, claw 21, claw 2 is 22, and bite is 18.
All right.
So that is
All three of those hit.
5 plus 8 is 13 plus 8 is 21. Between slashing and piercing, if it makes a difference.
Okay. So, you get those solid hits and you can kind of like feel the resistance of the air as you're clawing and biting at this thing.
Did everybody hear it talking, or did only Unga before?
No, you all hear it talking.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that, but anyway, that's it.
So you see this thing kind of start to pull back from Unga, and like I believe Vent and Unga are both in range, so you get attacks of opportunity as it tries to withdraw from you.
Alrighty then.
But it was speaking to us and said it wanted to retrieve something?
And death. There was also death involved. So a 19.
There was also death involved. Yes, 19 hits.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about the death. Ooh, this is going to be good. Let's see. That's 15 plus additional 3, so 18 points of damage.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll take an attack of opportunity if I can as well. I'll follow Unga's lead. He's the expert out here. 21 to hit. And that is 5 points of slashing damage.
Would Sheldon also get an attack of opportunity?
Yep, Sheldon's in range.
Sheldon!
Second boy. Alright, that's going to be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Alright. And that's going to be a whopping 10 points of damage.
Hey, the wind is like significantly weaker than it was, and like this thing. How far out does this mist extend, Prudence?
It extends out. Let me
Pretty
pull
big,
fog
I
cloud
think.
again.
Yeah. I think it's like 50
So
foot radius or something crazy.
it's a
like that.
20-foot radius sphere.
Oh, 20 foot.
Okay, so you see
It
the
lasts
mist.
the duration.
Yes, you see the mist split as this thing like withdraws through it, like the mist like kind of writhing in its path, in its wake, and it just goes right out in the direction of Canopy.
Oh no.
What do you mean, oh no?
It's going towards Canopy, so it may have come from there. Are we still in combat?
Nope.
Can I try to throw a flaming sphere at it? Like if it was just moving straight?
What's the range on that?
Hold on, I'm looking. Produce flame. Sorry, not flaming sphere, produce flame. That's what I meant. It is a range is self.
30 feet.
I can throw it for 30 feet. That's in the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can certainly throw it. You don't know if you're going to get far enough.
Sure, I'll try.
Okay.
Do I need to make an attack roll then, I presume?
Yeah, make it a disadvantage.
Okay.
And then
Disadvantage is a natural 1. I got a 16 and a 1. Oh. Okay.
So would you like me to try with Frost, guys?
I want to take off after it. I have it hunter's marked.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I kind of put out my hand and scrunch up my face. I'm like, this way, and charge in its direction. I believe it gives me advantage on
I'll say,
perception.
conserve your
checks.
energy, Sin.
All right, so Unga, you are in hot pursuit of this thing, but you realize quickly that it is moving much faster than you are, like
Jungle chase.
20 feet faster per round.
Oh yeah, I'm never gonna catch that. I'm strong, but not I'm fast, but not that fast.
How does your hunter's mark work?
It just gives you advantage on any perception checks or survival checks to find it.
I
And it
thought
lasts
you
an
like
hour,
always.
so-
I thought you like always knew where it was or something. Well, can you try to track the path it's made?
Really track the wind.
I mean, if it's powerful enough wind to batter, I mean, look at his armor's dented and everything. I mean, it might have left some signs of broken,
I mean, I will look for traces of it, but it's up to the GM.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I was just rolling. I wasn't trying to outgame you.
Yeah, I mean, give me survival.
All right.
And since you've got an idea what you're looking for, make it with advantage.
Oh, that's good because that roll was terrible. It was definitely a critical, but not the good one.
No.
Well, that's not any better. A 7 with a 7. Am I able to determine the direction?
Well, you know that it went in the general direction of Canopy, but you're not sure if it ever made it to the city or not.
Well,
we should hustle.
Yeah, your instincts got us to this point. Let's just keep going that same, just going straight.
Is Rainbow
All right.
okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rainbow, after the danger passes, will kind of, flutter down and this time land on Galason's shoulder and just kind of, peck at your hair a little bit, grooming you. Not, actually pecking at your head, but, just trying to make sure you're okay. Then, because Unga just took off running and Rainbow doesn't fly as fast as Unga runs.
Did you see that thing that came after us?
Oh, I was hoping maybe Prudence might have known.
I was actually saying it to the
Oh.
Well,
I-
Rainbow
I-
was able to
I
talk
would've
to you guys
responded.
before because Unga had Speak with Animals cast, so Rainbow does not answer you.
I'll explain that to Sin. Be like, Sin, we were only able to understand it because of Unga's magic.
Oh, well, my magic doesn't do that. So.
Hey, with enough practice, someday, you might.
Maybe. I'm not certain that's how this all works, but
How far out are we from Canopy?
You'll manage to make it there within 2 hours.
We should hurry in case that creature wreaks havoc in Canopy.
All right, let's pick up the pace. Jungle run. It's Jungle Fun Run.
Hey.
I'll race you guys. I'll just take off running too. Keep everybody motivated. Make it fun. I think to myself.
All right, so
That's
you
what a leader
guys.
would do, right?
Indeed. Perhaps. All
I
right,
don't
so
know.
you guys do eventually make it to Canopy, and things seem fairly peaceful here still. You get a couple looks as you come in, some people that remember that you were the ones that killed Bird Eater and are like, hey, but for the most part, things are quiet and it's a basic day in Canopy. You've got the Aarakocra going back and forth,
Oh yeah, we were kind of it's famous here, but like people knew.
Totally famous.
Locally famous.
I might just stop a passerby, the closest one, and be like, "Hey, has any strange weather activity occurred here in the last few minutes, last hour, say?"
Weather activity?
Yeah, we were back in the jungle. There was just like a really powerful wind, for lack of a better term, accosted us. And
Well,
just
no,
blew
I
this
mean,
way.
nobody here has been attacked by any freak windstorms that I know of.
I would imagine with your flight capabilities, you're very keenly aware of the winds.
You know, we are.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you to notice. Nobody ever gives us credit for that. It's like, you know, this just this big blue jay looking Aarakocra that you're talking to, and he just, you know, like this is the first time he's considered that himself.
Yeah, you probably feel it in a way none of us can. The lift, the currents and things. Anyway, thanks for your time.
What currents were a fruit?
That's currents. Got a lot to learn, Sam.
I wonder, do you suppose that thing was natural, or do you think it was asked to assault us?
I don't know. I thought I heard it say something about retrieving something, and Unga's pretty sure it wanted one of us to die, which greatly concerns me.
Suppose someone summoned it from the elemental plane of air. I mean, we were just in the location that was very, very close to the plane of fire. It is not unheard of for the elements to converge.
I wonder if it was some sort of planar spy. You know, it's invisible.
We should ask Alex. He's wise in these ways.
I couldn't have put it better myself.
Sin lost and thought, you know, I was like, hey, can't, you know, wind be like, you know, summoned as an elemental?
Yes, it can.
I don't know how these things work, but we did have a bunch of those stone boys back in Luster.
Yeah, they
This
didn't
is
appear
true.
summon. A lot of elementals can, you know, they get pretty grumpy when they summon here. I mean, they don't have any choice in the matter. I've been speaking with fire elementals at market, and boom, they're all of a sudden material plane. And some magic user or another wants them to battle some monster to the death.
Well, what we just fought certainly was grumpy,
Mm-hmm.
but that does bring up a good point. Suppose it did not do so of its own volition. No, actually, I suppose it would have been of its own volition to an extent because it was laughing at us.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't of its own volition, but it did seem a little bit happy about it.
So who
Yes.
do you think wanted to kill? Was it all of us, or was it?
It definitely seemed to be focusing on Unga. What do you have that it would have wanted to retrieve?
I don't know. Maybe my axe. It's a really good axe.
That is a really good axe.
What if you wanted Sheldon? You think, you know? Do you think Sheldon might have been important?
As we all slow turn over to Sheldon.
Although,
secrets
to
are
be
you
honest,
hiding?
I'm kind of a big target.
You are.
That you are.
It's true.
I'm not as fast as Prudence or as nimble as Vent.
It makes me think, though, that whoever sent this either does not know us or else does not know what they want from us. Because if they knew us, they likely would have sent more than a single wisp of wind.
They might have known about us, but not our specific abilities.
Perhaps. And what we fought certainly was more difficult than Bird Eater.
But it's also a scenario of, you know, it targeted us. It did not seem like a random act of violence.
Yeah. Hey, it could have wanted that starlight in us. It could have wanted
The feather.
Unga's axe, Rainbow's feather. Yeah. I don't know. I think Uga had the right idea of heading towards Alex. I guess we could probably just be discussing it as we're making our way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like wherever we go, things just seem to lay around mysteries. But we're remaining true to our original goals. So. And we're at Canopy with Vince, or with Rainbow.
All right.
Who's probably digging it.
What do you guys want to do first while you're in Canopy? Because I know you had a list of things.
I think Alex
is
at the top of the list.
Mhm.
Yeah. We went through a lot. We haven't been here in, it seems like 4 segments of time.
Right, so I believe you get to Crimson Crest Academy. Alec, he's in the lab when you guys enter, like just pottering around, looking through his things, like messing with, what's the name of the thing that you look through and then there's stars?
Telescope?
That one, yep, that's the one.
I was like trying to think of all these fancy, like an orrery? An astrolabe?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, looking through the, you just told me what it was, the astronomy thing. Anyway, so he turns to you guys, and he's like, "Oh, wonderful. It is good to see you back. Did you, by chance, get the feather I asked for?"
We did indeed.
We kind of overachieved.
We kind of urge Rainbow to kind of fly in the room a little bit. Meanwhile, I will, with as much of a performance as I possibly can, I will flutter out the feather that Rainbow specifically gave us.
He will, close the distance between you, pick the feather up, look it over, and then his eyes fall on the bird, and he kind of like does that bird thing where he like tilts his head a little bit to get a better look, and he's like, "Well, hello," and like they start talking to each other with the series of like twills and squawks for a minute, and he nods, and he's like, "Well, this is certainly interesting. This is not something that I expected. I didn't realize that there was a living bird in that place."
Yeah, as far as we understand it, we were the first people to go there, and I don't even know how long that, I forget her name, map maker, had said nobody had been there, right? Like there was not even records of like what's inside or maps or anything.
No.
Well, the feathers had to come from someplace.
Alec, did you happen to see anything interesting in the sky a few nights back? I say kind of like proud of ourselves, like that was us.
Oh, you mean like the beam of light from out in the desert? I thought that might have had something to do with you, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to lead the witness, as it were, like just spreading his feathery arms.
What do you?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
What do you know about angry air? I mean,
Angry air.
yeah, I'm sure what Vince's about to say is really important too, but I'm a little more concerned about the angry air.
Wait, sure, I don't know what you mean.
Well, think
We were
about.
attacked by an air, kind of like a person shaped.
Interesting. No, angry person-shaped air. Do you think there might have been some kind of spellcaster orchestrating something of that ilk? Maybe it was some sort of magical spell, or...
Well,
Prudence theorized that that might be the case. It
spoke
did.
to us. It said that it wanted to retrieve something, and that there would be death. And it laughed a lot.
And then it headed back back towards Canopy. We chased after it as fast as we could, but I mean, try catching the air, it's pretty tough.
No, I have to imagine you're right about that.
I mean, I've had a a hard time catching my breath, but I mean, this is very good.
Air is a fickle thing.
It is, just blows here and there.
As
And sometimes it sucks when it attacks.
It does.
You know what, Sin? You've never seen a bird smirk before, but you're looking at it right now. So, tell me of your travels. What all have you learned in your absence from this place? And he's like taking the feather over, you know, like setting it up near the telescope. See, I remembered the word that time. Like, sets it in this little mechanism and starts just messing with the dials as he's listening.
Well, we found a new sibling.
You go on.
It's true.
What was their name? Do you remember?
Myth and Sir Louvel.
Well, we knew about Lavelle.
Yeah, Myth.
But Myth we encountered in the streets of Leicester. And when we last saw them, they were in the chambers with the Queen, who is Vent's dad, Vent's mom.
You certainly have family all over the place. And he's like twisting something just very carefully, like trying to get an exact measurement on this dial.
Well, we did learn that we have a sneaking suspicion that there's 7 of us. It sort of lines up with how many stars are in that sort of Xiphos constellation. That's what those beams of light were.
I see.
They're like in us now or something. Prudence really understood it much more clearly than I.
And he actually turns to look at you, Prudence, like stops what he's doing and just focuses.
We found a great many constellations referenced in a ruin. And we found a sort of puzzle trap situation, much as you do in any ruin. And we may have triggered the magic that caused the great beam of light. It was all rather fascinating.
And you're telling me that you are imbued with the stars of this constellation, then?
I never mentioned any such thing.
Is that not what he was just implying?
Oh, did he? I guess I didn't realize he said that directly.
And like when that happens, Ben's just like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like looking at Prudence, like trying to.
Yeah, she's kind of side-eyeing you.
Yeah.
She's side-eyeing you right now.
Vent is our leader, not our secret keeper.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, suffice it to say, it was all rather brilliant.
Excellent. Well, that is good to know. And that solves at least one mystery as to where the stars have gone. Of course, that is why I asked you to go get the feather in the first place.
Well, didn't someone say that the stars weren't really gone, but they were just kind of being covered up?
Well, yes. That was the hypothesis.
No, somebody else said that.
Hmm.
Was that the bird who said that?
That's Rainbow?
Yeah.
No.
I think it was my mom. That's what she told you in Prudence.
Anyway, somebody other than your hypothesis said it. That, the stars are still there. They're just concealed.
Yes, of course.
Does Alex seem more like he's like preoccupied with just, his little
for sure.
thing? Oh, okay. He's not like dismissive of us. He's just like into whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he's just very distracted.
Sure.
I may have a converse question, actually. I suspect Alec is trying to appear this way when actually is trying to find out more information about us.
Do you want to give me an insight check?
I do. I am the ever suspicious sister.
Well, it's good
who
that
is
you
not
are.
proficient in insight and rolled a total of 12.
Oh dear. No, he absolutely knows more than he's telling you.
Okay.
He rolled a 2.
I will begin coughing violently.
He'll stop what he's doing and look at you again, and he's like, "Are you quite all right? Do you need a tissue?"
Oh, excuse me. I think I do believe I need one of my brothers to help me with.
And he just kind of moves away from you and just gives you the most germophobic look.
I am actively like getting spittle and things on things.
Like, oh dear, no, someone please take her to receive whatever treatment you mammalians require for such things. I've heard of the sneezing before. Terrible, really.
I start pulling out a wineskin with water in it, and rush to Prudence's side.
I would like to, as I'm taking it, sort of lean heavily on him. And as I take a swig and then just whisper in his ear, he knows more than he's letting on. And then just like take another swig and, clear my throat a little bit. And now I'm okay.
So, is alcohol a common remedy for when humans do this sneezing thing that you were just doing?
It's just water to clear her throat.
I see.
It's quite a misnomer. I was quite shocked the first time that, Unga offered me a drink, and I was aghast that there was only water in a wineskin. Why call it a wineskin if you're not going to put wine in it?
Indeed. I make eye contact, Echolation. Things are often as they do not appear.
Do I pick up on that too?
So, I wanna reach out and grab Alec by the beak.
Oh, jeez. Okay,
He walks and like takes a step forward, and he's just like all the feathers ruffled. He looks like he just gained 20 pounds. Rainbow like gets up, squawks, and starts flying around the room, like.
Yeah, you had to go to the most physical for that.
Like a very freaked out bird here.
Me. I was going to go to each of you.
So, is there like a table?
I was working my way to that because while the fact that I'm stupid,
I
I'm
pull
actually
Alex
pretty
across the table.
Yeah. There are many tables in this room. They are all covered in things.
I shoulder my axe like I'm in position to like dehead a chicken.
Oh,
and he's squawking loudly.
I would be like concerned.
Here,
Right? Like, what are you doing?
He needs to talk.
Okay, but
He can't talk with
This
your
is
hand
not
around
the
his
way-
beak, so.
this is not the way we engage in conversation, dear brother.
He's hiding something. I know it.
Yes, and that's fine.
Hey, we all have
We-
secrets.
We are not going to get this out of him if you make his head roll on the floor. Please.
Not with that attitude, brother.
Well, you might be able to get the bird to talk, but if you cut someone's head off, they are not going to have a conversation.
Yeah,
Do you-
hey, we've all got.
Are you going to
secrets,
tell
too.
us, Alex, what you're hiding from us?
He probably knows a lot of stuff that he hasn't told us.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
So the longer you guys are having this really calm conversation while your brother has his hand on Alex's beak and is holding that axe and is like in head chopping position, the more freaked out he's getting.
Yeah, let's try to like calmly lower you.
I'm trying to bring Unga down.
Yeah.
So let us now not be hasty. Let us not do anything foolish. This person is trying to help us, and there are better ways to get information than in threatening violence.
I think they're trying to tell me you can't talk with my hand on your beak.
That's a start. Let's start there.
So I grab him by the scruff of the neck.
No.
Easy.
Hands off.
Fine. And I step away from Alex.
And he backs way up from you, and his feathers are still ruffled. He's just like all poofy right now.
Okay, now, and I turn to Alex. It is clear that there is a little bit of information that is not being properly transferred back and forth here, and I apologize for the eager actions of my dear brother. So how about we start afresh and see where things properly go? I'll act, when he like side glances at Unga, I will position myself in the way. I will sidestep to kind of block view. In so much as I'm now a barrier between them, so that would slow Unga down somewhat if need be.
Yes, let's talk. And he just sets his hand on the table.
I'm gonna summon that solar light into my hand and hold it out towards him in the healing way and just be like, yeah, maybe you can tell us a little more about this, and I'll let it heal him also. I don't know if he's injured, but if you want, I'm not gonna force it on him.
Oh no, I'm just rolling to see if he's more curious about this or afraid of Unga, and the coin has fallen on the side of curiosity over fear. This man has more curiosity than sense, clearly, so he will extend a hand to touch that light and see what that feels like.
Well, it would heal him for 6 damage, and it's prep. I imagine maybe Vince. Manifestation of it. It's sort of hot at first, you maybe but it's it doesn't burn, so maybe as you touch it, just sort of makes a warm sensation.
Absolutely fascinating. Particularly that you're able to heal with part of a sword.
So it is each of those stars in the constellation.
Well, yes, that is what I thought you were telling me.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, we theorized that, but I mean, it's good to get a second opinion, I suppose. Do you? I guess we're curious of where the remaining stars are and what will happen when they're all brought together.
I can follow the energy of yours and locate the other 2.
Really?
Well, we know where Memphis.
I look over at Prudence
It would really only be finding Louvel, wouldn't it?
Is that what you require?
Isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I looked at that.
Yeah.
But I had another question.
Indeed.
Do the individual stars of the constellation, do they have any meaning of themselves, individually, or are they merely only the collection to form this constellation?
As far as I am aware, they are pieces of the constellation Xiphos.
And what do you know about Calden Lucifax?
Ah, what a rake indeed. I know that he was a charming sort of fellow. I know that he was possessed of great magics. I know that he was both a minstrel and a rogue of sorts. I know that he had many lovers and offended many people in his travels, not only from his exploits between the sheets. And I know that he had the ear of the demon who wielded Xiphos in the first place.
Sort of looking around at my siblings as he's saying that and thinking about the other people we've met and so just sort of mutter out loud it's like each of us have a little bit of that person you just described. Does anybody else say that?
Uga just will look kind of sheepish when you point that out.
The demon who possessed the sword. I guess I would kind of question what information you might have about who they are. And did he pick them as well?
Now that I do not know. I know that her name is Kyraxiel. I know that she had her fingers in some pies on the material plane once upon a time, but no one's heard of her in quite some time, not since her sword was stolen in the first place, though I imagine she probably wants it back.
Who was that?
Sword was stolen, she wants it back.
Wait, the sword of Xiphos belongs to Kyraxiel?
Yeah, the sword's name is Xiphos. It belongs to the demoness Kyraxiel.
Oh. Gotcha. Oof. Well, I don't want to. Oh boy. I mean, if those stars are in us, I don't want to be some demon lord's pawn.
Oh no, and I'm quite certain neither did Calden, but if you have the stars within you, I have to imagine that's by design.
But whose?
Stars are massive things, aren't they? We can't really have them in us. We just have light.
It's a magical universe, and it's all sorts of wild and wonderful things.
Theoretically, you shouldn't be able to steal them from the sky either by that logic.
I rest my case.
Well, I mean, it's not hard to conjure darkness, and poof, I'll just blanket, to, 10 foot around me in darkness. Like,
You hear the squawking again. There are now feathers, just kind of poofing out, because he was within, the span of your darkness when it went up.
That's a perfect example, Sin. You don't know where that energy is coming from either, as far as I understand.
Magic is in everything, dear brother, and I steal a little bit of it. There's darkness all around us, everywhere, and when I do this, I pull it towards me and use it to the best of my abilities. And I'll turn the darkness off.
He's all poofed up again, and he's like, listen, there's something you need to understand. If you would like me to find your other sibling, I can do that with the feather that you brought me. I have this thing, I have been calibrating it, but it is not completely calibrated, and I would like to see any of you try and use this sophisticated machinery. You need me.
No one's trying to stop you. I was merely demonstrating. You said that it is difficult to obscure things with magic, and I am small in the ways of using complex magic, and it was just that simple. I mean,
it is
easy.
difficult to obscure something the size of a star, yes.
Well, okay. Look. If you look up into the sky, it is this big, and he holds up his thumb and index finger. Whereas here, I have blanketed 20 foot, much bigger than this. I don't see what you're talking about. This is so much easier to conceal. Look, you can't see it.
I want to go over to the machinery that he was gesturing to.
Okay.
And take a look at it.
It is just this big brass telescope. It's got that jade lens in it, the feather kind of sticking out of this mechanism to the side. It's got all kinds of gears and small dials and stuff.
Yeah, I begin investigating, and I look through the the lens.
He does not look pleased to see you touching this thing.
I don't think I can figure it out. He's right, it is pretty complex.
Right.
There was one other, matter, since we're now being open and honest with each other. Did you know anything further about this congealed air that attacks? Potentially an elemental, potentially summoned? And I'll kind of give him a scrutinizing gaze as he answers.
I can tell you that Kyraxiel had a bit of a rivalry with certain members of the aristocracy on the elemental planes. So sending an airborne assassin after the five of you would probably not be entirely beyond someone within that genre of person, as it were, but...
Do they seem genuine in their answer?
Give me insight.
Ugh, 8.
Okay, yeah, he seems completely genuine.
Well, why would Caraxiel be after us?
They might have a issue with my mom. She's sort of elemental aristocracy.
Why wouldn't she just go after your mom then? Why us?
I don't know.
Caraxiel wants her sword back.
We don't have it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, Sin. The stars that are in us are the sword.
I kind of am like Prudence is very much closed body language right now, hugging herself. Her wings are kind of folded in. And she like half mutters, "Perhaps she wants more than her sword back."
There was another thing too. What do we have that they want to retrieve?
Vent's saying that we have her sword.
What?
The light from the constellations.
Well,
That's what the sword. It's hid.
Can we give that back? Can that even be taken from us?
I don't know if that's the right thing. I mean, we're talking demon lords. That's not good news. I mean, do we want a demon lord to have their, legendary sword back? Who knows what they want with it?
Right, but I also don't want to go up against the demon lord.
No.
They're pretty
well. I mean, you guys did say my mom was back in Leicester. I mean, as far as I understand it, she's pretty powerful where we come from. I mean, if it's going to help keep you guys, us safe, then, I mean, I guess we can go talk to her. We can go back there.
What about your dragon dad?
Argenvar? I haven't heard from him since I came to the material plane. I hope they're doing well. I don't really have any way to contact him. It was sort of like a one-way journey.
Okay, I have a question about the world.
Yes.
Okay.
GM.
Yes.
So, the constellations,
Yeah.
are they affiliated with all sorts of different creature types? Because a lot of what we have noticed is like these pretty things or things that would be more like celestial or maybe fae or things like that. So I am wondering, does this seem inconsistent, the notion of Kyraxiel being a demon lord, given that she's affiliated with stars?
Yes, a little bit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that a demon's sword would have been a constellation for sure.
Right. I'm kind of just muttering, and I look at Galason and I say, Galason, we have presumed these things we've heard to be true. Perhaps even Alec thinks they are. But what if Kyraxiel is no demon at all? I mean, think about it. What do demons deal in? Darkness, shadows. My own mother is a fiend after a sort. And you see how I look. Stars are not exactly becoming of that. And our father clearly wielded shadows.
My grandfather always claimed that the demons consort with deal in souls
and blood. I say as I'm across the room.
But
I don't see a connection between stars and the sword, let alone demons and stars.
But suppose for a moment, dear brother, whose blood is infused with darkness, suppose that Kyraxiel would be a celestial. Perhaps our father consorted with dark entities. He himself was human, clearly, but that does not mean he kept human company.
Are you two speaking privately, or?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like we're having a conversation in the same room as you,
Sure,
but it's
right.
like if you want to be part of it, come over.
Okay, sure. I just didn't want to intrude.
Well, I am still not convinced that our father was entirely human. To do all that he supposedly has done, I am still not certain as to what he is. We know he's handsome and charismatic and apparently willing to do quite a lot. That's all he.
Now, I have a note from a long time ago. I don't remember if this was that we who did this, but I wrote sword sacrifice was taken and placed in the sky. Did our dad steal some powerful entity's sword and hid it there, and maybe that's how they were able to do such extraordinary things?
Alec breaks in at this point because he was the one that told you that.
Was it?
Indeed. It was Calden Lucifax that stole the sword and placed it among the stars in the first place, so it would make sense that he would know how to get it down again.
So this constellation has only been in the heavens for, a number of years. It was not something that...
Oh.
And the world did not marvel at a new constellation that appeared out of nowhere?
I'm sure some of them did.
I would imagine that there would be dozens of tales and stories and bizarre ideas. How in this short a time, how is it known that he is the one who placed it there? And that seems...
Was it hidden there? I mean, I guess out of character, was this like a constellation that only somebody like Alex would have known about, that you could only see it with certain instruments, or was it clear in the night sky?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like one of those that you can just dead look at the sky with your naked eyes and pin to. But among scholarly circles, yes, it absolutely made quite a stir.
Oh, so I'm just gonna lean in with my siblings, we're pretty close to this thing. I mean, I imagine he's probably just interested in us academically. I mean, right? If you're a scholar like this, look at this guy's a nerd. I mean, if he could study us and stuff, probably make his career. So it doesn't seem nefarious. He's probably just academically interested, right?
Hey,
Vent.
I won't be placed upon a table for study or...
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But we should, ambition can cause people to make rash decisions. I guess we should keep that in mind and be prudent.
So, is the sword of Zathros, what kind of sword is it? Is it just a sword, or is it a specific sword?
So, Zyphos, it is a one-handed sword, and it's that itself, the constellation, it is a specific. When it started to appear between you when you were standing in the Temple of Glass, it seemed very large, bigger than any of you could comfortably have wielded, but proportionally it is a one-hander.
The Buster Sword.
Vent.
Yeah.
History is full of evil wizards, men and women and otherwise, who chose to do a great many nefarious things with the power of knowledge and a bit of magic. And bear in mind, we were assaulted by wind, and now I'm kind of being a little more private from Alec. Aarakocra come from the plane of wind, and I would not normally be one to make assumptions. However, considering he knows so much of this, and the creature did flee toward the canopy, things do not quite add up to me. And I would like to immediately begin striding towards Alec in that purposeful directness that's intimidating, but just direct.
Was Unga right?
And I will say, let me make something abundantly clear at this point.
And he's slowly moving around the other side of the table, not that saved him from Unga last time.
I will just put my hands on the table and lean. I know about dreams, aspirations, and goals. I know of the realm of dreams. So let me make this infinitely clear. If you mean any of my brother's malice in any way, I will find you and your dreams, and I will twist them all into nightmares, forever and always.
All right, you make an intimidation check. Make it with advantage because you guys have been scaring the crap out of this guy since you walked in.
I feel
Okay.
intimidated, like me, personally. That was chilling.
I got a natural 20 plus 1, so 21.
He's like, I understand. I understand completely. I don't mean any of you any harm, I swear.
So tell me, did you know of this wind creature in any fashion that attacked us?
Not until you told me about it. I mean, I knew that such creatures existed. I didn't know that there was one after you.
How about this? Do you know of anyone in town that would be capable of pulling such a thing? And I'm going to try to put as much honey in my words to soften what Prudence is doing.
Capable a dozen on this campus alone, but with motive too, no.
Just have to kill everyone, Unga. No, I'm kidding.
Where do you want me to start? No.
my God.
I'm kidding.
Nah, we like it.
I did not say that. Yes. Yeah, so Canopy's like pretty, I mean, it's not like a little teeny village, right? I mean, they have a,
No, it's
Yeah.
it's a tree city.
yeah, I mean, right, okay. Yeah, it's got a whole university there and stuff. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Vent is sort of just hanging in the periphery. He doesn't want to intimidate this guy because I still believe he is just a nerd.
So, what does he need to do to finish whatever he has to do?
Oh, he just needs to do it.
Calibrations, he said. Very difficult calibrations.
How long will that take, Alec?
It wouldn't take me very long, however. Once I do, you have no reason to leave me alive, and I'm not entirely certain that I want to remove my only form of leverage.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize my siblings had given you that impression.
He looks at you, and then he looks at Unga, and then he looks at you again, and like, just... Really?
Well,
He gets a little overzealous.
we were doing good until Prudence told me you're keeping secrets from us.
Secrets? No. These are not secrets, they are merely facts that I had not shared.
That's what I said.
What is a secret, if not a fact unshared?
You have to understand, I am in the world of academia. If you just tell everything you know immediately, people run off with your ideas, they write papers.
I'm gonna try to ingratiate myself with him and just be like, they're not as sharp as you.
Do any of us look like the sort to write papers or steal ideas when it comes to academia?
You, yes.
I don't know. I thought about writing a paper once.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Sheldon talked me out of it.
Hey, oh yeah. Did we tell Alec that Sheldon was like a confirmed sibling as well? Like
Well,
when we were here the
we
first
did.
time, I think.
I don't know if we mentioned the fact that.
Let's make that our secret.
Okay.
Look over at Sheldon. Be like, shh.
So he's gonna do the math. And be like, there should be one more sibling.
Maybe there was an invisible one in that chamber with us, like the invisible thing that attacked us.
So, is there anywhere off to the side that there's like a chair or bench or something that could be turned into something to sit on?
Yeah, absolutely. There are chairs in here.
So-
It's a laboratory. He's not going to stand on his feet all day.
So, Galason pulls himself away from the conversation, away from, all of the accusations against this guy. He wants to just let him finish. So he's just basically going to go over and, not so much sulk in the corner, but like just sit over there and just basically mess around with prestidigitation. So he'll like make some things move and make the his eyes change color or his hair parted a different way. Just do different things to occupy his time. If you study, you'll probably see that he's tapping his foot, not in like a major. I want this known that I'm not necessarily agitated, but impatient. That's the word I'm looking for. But he's occupying himself while he's waiting.
Okay.
Has Alex begun making these adjustments, or is he like indicated that we're gonna have to come back?
I think
You're definitely gonna have to leave the room first, Unga. Like he's just kind of standing there next to this, like all these dials and things, and saying nothing. He's like, I will need one of you to stay to see what the telescope has to tell you, but
I'll stay. I mean, I'm kind of curious about how all this works. To be honest with you, I see all the glass lenses and stuff, and it draws my interest.
Oh, that's probably a good idea.
I will accept this from. You are probably the least scary of your siblings.
The 7'2".
Yes.
Yeah.
Flame-headed guy.
You haven't seen Vink get angry.
It rarely happens, but it does happen.
But he is the smartest of us, so he'd probably understand the best.
I'll ham it up.
So
I do have a question.
And he gives you not quite trusting face.
Who can I leave Rainbow with?
Well, can you ask Rainbow where they want to go? I mean, the whole idea was not just to bring him here to, stay. Like, he was not staying with us. We were giving him a new home, I thought.
Yeah, Rainbow's going to stay in Canopy. But, Rainbow will need a new place to roost. And, maybe some other people to show Rainbow where to find the food and water and just, what's around and what to stay away from. Maybe another bird eater will show up. And I don't want Rainbow to be blindsided by another bird eater.
Does Rainbow eat? Have we seen in the time we've been with him?
No, Rainbow hasn't eaten anything since you guys started traveling together.
I mean, they got all-day breakfast at Golden Feathers. It's in my notes.
They do. They do
stuff.
Indeed.
Has Rainbow drank anything?
No.
So,
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just traveled through a jungle full of fruit and other eatables.
Yeah.
So does that mean Rainbow doesn't need to?
That is probably a safe.
Okay.
There's more to Rainbow than meets the eye.
Okay. Interesting.
What if they weren't after us? Maybe it wasn't after us. What if it was after Rainbow?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess that was a little egotistical of us to assume that, huh?
Rainbow wasn't down with us. Rainbow was flying elsewhere in the canopy.
True.
Perhaps above.
Maybe it didn't know that.
I mean, it was clearly, intelligent enough to speak. It might have recognized that we would have protected Rainbow. It did go after the most, the strongest among us.
Well, I have heard the phrase that being able to speak does not make one intelligent.
Well, all the same, I don't know. I'll call. Where is Rainbow? Is Rainbow around?
Seem to be hanging out by Gallison a lot.
So Rainbow has returned to your shoulder since the faff with Alex stopped. Rainbow seemed fairly excited to talk to Alec and to cut his head off. They've just been sort of chilling with you because Unga over everybody else, basically.
All right, I will cast Speak with Animals so that I may
Okay.
commune with Rainbow.
Now's your chance, Sin.
That little Trilligan is like, oh, can you hear me now? You did the hand motions like you can hear me now.
Yes. I have to attune to nature in order to hear you.
See.
Do you eat or drink?
No.
Does that mean you don't poop either?
Okay, I'm getting the lag, so I didn't hear that last bit. I'm sorry.
I asked Rainbow if Rainbow has to go to the bathroom.
Well, no, that would involve having to eat or drink, I think.
That's convenient and handy. Can you eat or drink?
I don't know. I have never tried.
Oh, you should try it sometime. Some foods and drinks are so good. They actually this place has some of the best juices. So we're trying to figure out where you want to stay, if you need like a house or someplace to roost.
Oh, I can find somewhere to perch if need be.
Do you have a way to defend yourself?
Defend myself.
Yeah, so there used to be this snake here called Bird Eater, and it would just eat. And I kind of like, motion towards Alec. The residents of Canopy, one gulp, gone.
Oh. Well, I am quite proficient at hurting things sometimes when I need to. And Rainbow will kind of like flap and like hover a little bit, like a few feet off the ground, and like move away from you, turn to like one of the tables that has like various instruments on it, and then just seriously like straight up breathe crackling electricity onto the table and like just charge up all of the metal instruments on it, and then like cackle, like bird cackle, like they just think it's the funniest thing ever.
Whoa!
Whoa, Rainbow! I didn't know you could do that.
I can't do it often, but I can do it.
I am glad we talked to you.
That was so impressive. Wow, maybe Alex, maybe Rainbow can stay with you and look after you.
I am definitely not opposed to this. This is an absolutely fascinating creature. I would adore the opportunity to research them further.
I think we need to change Rainbow's name to Rainbow Lightning Feather.
Rainbow Lightning Feather.
Rainbow seems okay with this.
The first of their kind.
I suppose everyone needs a surname at some point. I say not having a surname.
Yeah, I don't either. I think Sir Gillieson's the only one.
Would you like mine? I don't seem to care too much about it.
You know, hey, none of us. Maybe we could all name ourselves Lightning Feather for a last name. It's a pretty cool name.
What is our dad's name again?
Lucifax? I don't know. Vent Lucifax?
That
What do you guys think?
That does not roll off the tongue very well.
How about this? Vent Lightning Feather.
That
Or Vent
is
Lucifax.
so special.
For Rainbow, I think it sounds phenomenal, but I don't feel Lightning Feather fits us.
All right. Well, we'll workshop it. No offense, Rainbow.
As much
None
fun
taken.
would be to claim sibling with our new friend here.
Sheldon Lightning Feather.
You know,
That sounds even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
while
We'll get
all
there.
siblings do not share a surname necessarily, not all siblings even have a surname. Oftentimes, groups of people who choose to identify with one another form some sort of name. Should we have a name
What
for
about
our group?
What about something related to the sword in the sky? Our sword, something along those lines.
I'm liking sword in there. That's pretty cool. Swords. I like swords.
We'll have to think about it.
Yeah, that's a big
Yes.
step, Prudence.
It is,
I
but
guess.
at least for my part, I consider myself associated with you. And she just sort of like gets quiet and a little bit more withdrawn for a minute and like avoids your gaze and then just like, well, forever.
So imagine this, our crest, our family crest, because we might as well start a new one, right? Our family crest. Imagine Rainbow, just the way Rainbow was, hovering in the air with her wings, their prismatic wings outstretched, breathing the lightning with that prismatic spray of tail. I think that would make it quite the impressive emblem or heraldry for our house. Or
It
group.
would indeed.
Sheldon looks mildly offended.
But of course, Sheldon, you
always,
can't
though?
be the crest. You're one of us.
You're part of the family, and I've yet to see you breathe lightning.
That's fair.
He breathes bubbles.
He
Sheldon
does.
used bubble beam.
Oh. So we're just sort of like hanging out in Alex's lab, huh?
It is workshop.
Sure.
Oh, wait a minute.
If he
He
doesn't
wants
mind.
you to hang out. He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he's
'cause we're
still waiting for the people that have scared him to leave so he can show
Oh.
you what the thing has to say.
Well, let's take Rainbow, and Rainbow can try some of that juice.
Yeah. I'll stay here with Alec and and we can meet up at the Golden Feathers.
And immediately when we step outside, sister, do you maybe want to leave one of your friends behind to, just in case Vint gets in trouble?
This is not an unwise decision. And I would like to can I do that?
Yeah,
Can I summon
absolutely.
something real quick for a minute? So I'll miss a minute of whatever's happening. But she just sort of looks around at the, trees because they're everywhere. And she says, well, it seems as though this is rather apt for what I do. And she just sort of traces the sigil with her finger without needing the candles or anything because it's a freaking tree that's still alive. And she touches it and, FMA style, just light, and out of it grows this small bird. And it looks like a little canary type thing.
I like that.
It has really, really, really bright pink eyes.
Oh, that's adorable.
And I will whisper something to it so it can flit in and, just be a bird in the
Like a
bird
living
city.
peep.
Yes. I'm going to have a little peep, as it were.
Nice.
And I want to see through its senses.
Great, cool. So the first minute is just calibrations anyway, so you miss nothing important. Galeason, are you staying or going with the others? Because you didn't scare Alec. You're welcome to stay behind if you want to.
I was going to go. I don't have anything, specifically that I need to do, and we don't need to occupy time. But there was that one shopkeep that kind of gave me the eye the last time we were here. So
Okay,
he's
I'm
he's
gonna put
go.
a pin in that because this is
Yeah.
actually important. I have something planned for that shop. So,
Yeah. Okay.
Was that Molly, the
Yep.
Magpie Jeweler?
that's right.
Score.
All right.
Nailed it.
So, Vent, you are coaxed looking into this. I lost the word again. Star scrying thing. Telescope. There we go. And so, you see the sky through this green lens at first, and then the world distorts, and you are shown a vision of Louvel. And
Oh.
I'm not sure what you were expecting to see because it takes a minute as it's tracing the lines of these the star power following it through.
Ooh.
And what you see is Louvel the Knight, long dark hair, all disheveled, like kind of swollen in the face region from having been struck myriad times. And they've been sort of shoved into a cage. And they seem to have like a couple places like on the face where they've been bleeding because they've been beaten pretty badly there.
Okay, well, I would be, as I'm looking, I'm like, where am I? Where is this? Where am I looking? I mean, how do I find this? Like to Alec. It's one.
I'm
It's
not
one
sure.
of. It's our other sibling. They're in trouble.
You can tell that wherever the scene is, it's somewhere underground.
Okay, underground. If he like, I'm like, do you see this? You know, do you see this? Like, I imagine he probably looked through it first, right?
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
he's looking through the other eye hole. It's like I have no way of telling you. I mean, I figured that this person would be somewhere that was easily identifiable.
Well, hey, no, you've done tremendous work here. I don't want to just, like me personally, I don't want to just leave right away and hang out with him. I'm not sure what I would do here. Would you mind cutting to them for a minute when I think about it?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, Galeason, you are going to this shop, and the second that you walk in, Molly like kind of like ruffles her feathers, and she's like, we're looking for something with that mark on it, and I happen to have something. I told you I would find it, and I did.
Excellent. I just, beam and allow it to literally shine in my eyes as I kind of do a little bit of prestidigitation and allow them to glow just a bit.
She preens a little bit and like motions you over and draws like the jewelry box out from underneath the desk, like the one where the private stuff is, the one where the stuff is not on display for sale. And she rifles through it for a minute and then pulls out this locket that has the constellation on one side and the embossed letter L on the other.
And pray tell, where did you acquire such a thing?
Well, it's a funny story that there was this dragonborn that was coming through here and had some stuff to sell, and this was really the only jewelry that was among it, and this isn't a pawn shop, but I saw that sigil and I thought of you immediately. This is not the kind of thing that I ordinarily would have bought. There's no jewels on it anywhere, but it's very well engraved. Like, clearly the person that owned this before was some kind of noble.
I hope it didn't set you back too much.
Oh no.
Since you were doing it upon my behalf.
Don't worry too much about that, because we do all right. And she holds it out to you by the chain.
Could you repeat what you had just said? Kind of like,
just don't worry too much about it. We do all right.
So I kind of reach out. Are you sure?
Absolutely. And like she puts it in your hand and like kind of brushes her hand over yours in the process.
I allow my fingers to kind of come up and caress hers just a little bit upon retrieving it.
Yeah, bird-like laughter, because they can't really do it any other way, but like she is very much being like coy.
So when I look at it, like is it just metal with engravings, or is there actual like stonework? So what type of metal is it, as far as I can tell anyway?
Silver.
Silver?
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of looks at it for a while, trying to examine it. Doesn't do anything as I look at it and examine the stars or the L or any of that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's very much a normal object. It has the constellation and it just has that calligraphy L on the back.
All right. So he'll look around the shop, find something to actually make a purchase, and like I said, I can go and occupy some time with her if she is interested and willing.
Oh, she is. Very much so. She'll, like, call somebody else to mind the shop for a little while. All right. Vent, have you...
Oh, yeah. So you said it said that like when you look through, you could sort of follow this path of Starlight to Lavelle, right?
Yeah, it was
Is
just
there
sort of like
anything
a...
about where it starts that looks familiar to me?
That's fair. It starts where you're standing and seems to lead
Oh.
toward the mountains
Oh,
beyond
it's
Luster.
leading from the looker.
Yes.
Oh, from that point on. Oh, okay. But this is like a big telescope, right?
Yeah, it is. And you're not really sure exactly where in the mountains. You just
Sure.
know that it's in that direction.
I would like point at the lens and be like, "Do you know where those mountains are?" Or I'd maybe look up. I don't know if you can see out, but probably can't see.
Oh yeah,
them
they're the mountains to the south of Luster. I believe you were telling me about having seen something fall in that direction.
The red star fell there. Wow, I've got to be honest with you, Alec. On this journey, I several times questioned if I was even, if I was even misleading myself. But after seeing this now and our experiences in that Temple of Glass, I feel even more confident that this is our destiny. I saw that mountain in my dream.
Well, there it is.
What's your interest in all this? Just purely academic? I mean, I know
Mostly.
my brother's got rather, and my siblings got a little overzealous, I felt. But they're really just looking to protect, I mean, frankly, themselves, but me. I mean, I'm pretty naive. But
He smiles and sighs and gives you this coy little sidelong look, and he's like, I knew Calden. Like, I knew Calden.
you knew him.
Yes.
It's incredible. What was he? I just like started hammering, but like, did he look like Gellison? Was he, secretive like Prudence and blah, 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 just like all that kind of stuff.
And he's laughing, and like he's giving you this like glowing review of what this man was like, because he did look very much like Gellison, and he was not kind to everyone, but he was generally, he tried to be a kind person. He was really funny. He would always like undercut people with his wit, and like give me an insight check.
Oh, great. It's easy for me to roleplay low wisdom characters because I myself have low wisdom. 14.
Yeah, you kind of get the impression that they were hooking up.
Okay. I'm like, I'm actually just kind of smiling a little bit. It's just me. I've never really heard anything about my dad, but so you're more interested in finding out what happened to my dad. What did happen to Calden? It seems like we've heard little things about him here and there.
Now, if I knew that, I wouldn't have to be looking so hard.
But you think? I mean, look, I'm primarily just curious about finding my siblings, and it seems like that a lot of us just have struggled with our situation, whether we knew why or not, myself included. And to be honest, I think there is something pulling me forward, but it's not the same thing that drew me here in the first place, if that makes sense.
It does. To an extent. All I can tell you is that about 30 years back, he started getting really erratic. He was moving all over the place, trying to get things done quickly. He wouldn't stop to talk.
Like he was...
in a panic.
Yeah, right. Panic. Do you think it's even wise that whatever we're doing, getting this, pulling this starlight into ourselves? I mean, are we...
No, but I
gonna
think it's
cause
too
more
late to
danger?
turn back now.
I understand. Well, I'm so great. I mean, thank you so much for helping us. I understand your need for secrecy, especially since it seems like there's other people looking for my siblings and I too. My mom. Well, at least that's all I know. I don't even know anything about. No, actually, I'm about to say like Prudence's mom's and I hate, but I'm like, I don't
And
really
you know what?
know much about my other siblings.
He notices that you have a stammer there, but he's not going to press the point.
Right.
He nods and he's like, well, expect that there will be more, because whatever this is, it's not a small thing. Kyraxiel has quite a reputation.
A good one or a bad one? Or a vengeful one?
A demon lord?
Yeah, well, we weren't sure about that either. I mean, but I certainly don't want to tangle with anything that has lord, elemental, or planar and lord in their mixed up in their titles, probably not something we want to tangle with.
Oh, certainly. Just take care.
Hey, what do you
Yes.
think of Sheldon? I mean, is that a little weird? Is he just a crab, or is there more there? I mean, I gotta believe he understands what we're saying, right? Doesn't he seem like he knows what's going on?
He does seem like he knows what's going on, but I haven't seen anything to convince me that he's anything but a regular crab. It's odd, but I wouldn't put it past Colden. I knew the man.
Well, I'm just gonna like take his feathery hand or wing in mine and just shake it vigorously. And I'm like, I'm just so thankful. I'm sorry about my brothers or my siblings.
Shakes
But
back and nods, and he's like, "It's quite all right. They're protective of one another and of you."
hey, well, I mean, they call me the leader now. So I mean, if I say I want to go to those mountains, they'll probably follow me. So we'll probably head there next. Do you know anything about them or the way there? I mean,
I know that there's a dragon that lives in them, and
that's good to know. That's good to know. Alec, thank you. I'm just gonna like excitedly, like, I just want to go tell my siblings about what I learned. So I will.
all right.
I'll be like, we'll probably be at the Golden Feathers, and I presume set out in the near future.
I will probably not be joining you, but I wish you the best
I
of
understand.
luck.
All right. Thanks again, Alec, and I'll just sort of like excitedly rush off, like running through the campuses, just running past people going to school and go to meet my siblings. Or I'll go to the Golden Feathers.
Shall I assume you guys are meeting up at the Golden Feather?
Unless you guys want to do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless, yeah, of course, Unga, Prudence.
Prudence was outside because she was watching the whole thing, so like her senses were cut off.
Yeah.
So she's literally just standing outside the door and she closes her pink eyes and they return to their normal color just before, like, as soon as he's leaving. And if Unga's still there, then she will mention that Alec was looking for their father. But if not, then she'll just kind of keep everything to herself and meet up with Vent as soon as he walks out.
Well, so Unga's initial idea was literally to go get berry juice for Rainbow, but I have a much higher wisdom.
Triple party split.
I have a much higher wisdom than I do intelligence, and sensing Prudence's vulnerability, I stay.
Smart decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll rewind my gleeful skip across campus.
It's like a skip.
Yeah. Come on. Oh! You guys! Tons of news, but we'll wait until we get Gallison. But thumbs up. Good stuff.
Yeah, he might be busy. He was headed off to see that jeweler.
Oh, Mally?
Yeah, you know how Gallison can be. You know how Sin can be. And I put the emphasis on Sin.
And Rainbow adds in a little, like, the trill whistle that's like, I can't whistle, otherwise I'd do it.
Sure.
You know the one I mean.
I give the wiggly eyebrows.
But yeah, Alec, and I'll tell him like the broad strokes. But he knew our dad. I think they were pretty close, actually. So I mean,
How
I think
close?
if he's like friendly, I mean, they shared some sort of intimate bond.
I was just asking because Dad.
Yeah, I mean, who am I to surmise? But he did seem to have affectionate memories of him. And yeah, I mean, I think if anything, he was just trying to hide that fact, especially considering, like, who knows who might be after us now or looking for us.
Well, that air creature is after us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we should have asked Alex if he knows of anyone here in Canopy that would be capable of sending such a creature.
He did. Gallison asked him.
Oh, good. He's always thinking.
I think it was Was it Gallison or Prudence? I think it was Gallison. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I was distracted by all those shiny gears and
oh, I know, it's
things.
fascinating, right? And I started explaining, like how it works and stuff. Like, yeah, when the lens, when you have the gears just right and the lens lines up and it, coterminous with each other and just a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yeah, my eyes
Me
begin
personally
to
don't.
glaze over.
Another time.
Unga just wants to turn the knobs. He doesn't need to know what they do or how it works.
Alec is so not going to let you do that. I mean, like, he might if you glare at him enough, but...
The bird has limits.
But I saw Sir Louvel in the telescope. They're in danger. They look like they've been beat up. They're being kept in a cage. And you know how I feel about that stuff.
You saw that through the telescope?
Yeah, it's amazing. It sort of showed me the path from me to them. It was very fast. I didn't recognize a lot of it, but those mountains to the south, where I told you that red comet went down, that's where they're at.
It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
I know. I started to doubt it myself.
So we should go collect Sin and let him know about the mountain.
Yes.
Again. So I'm not the smartest of the siblings here, but we essentially came here, talked to Alex, went on 2 quests for Alex for us to go back to the mountains you told us to go to. It's almost like we didn't need Alex.
Well, that's just how destiny works, I guess, Unga. I mean, what did that circus or what did that theater job have to do with any of this?
What if he
Who
made it
knows?
up and he just told you back what you already told him?
No, there's no way Alec would do that.
Okay, I trust you.
Interesting.
He's just a nerd.
So
He's a nerd with possibly a crush on our dad, who actually sounds like a pretty nice guy, from what Alec has to say about him.
I don't know. He does kind of leave everybody. It's like a wake of broken hearts.
Well, but we all sort of have little aspects of old Mr. Lucifax. Maybe Sin just got that part of him a little more.
I guess if you're like a rebound master, he'd be like the perfect person to follow.
Maybe Alex just has a broken heart. I mean, even if he was, let on, doesn't mean his feelings aren't valid. He could have a little broken birdie heart, Unga.
Oh, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just saying that's like a side effect of hanging around with our dad is a broken heart. Like, just expect it.
That tracks. I sort of look around at it.
So if we find him, is it going to be 5 more broken hearts or re-broken hearts? How many times can you break a heart?
I don't know. Prudence, you're wise. Do you know? How many times can you break a heart?
I think the very nature of that question itself doesn't quantify the value of a heart.
You're so wise.
All right. So it is now 9:55, and so I think next week I'm going to start you guys off as all 5 of you meeting up at the Golden Feather, and then we can move on from there.
Cool.
That sounds perfect. Well, I want to thank Megan for running as always. Great game. We all love how you GM. Thanks everyone who played, and thank you for everyone who hung out in the chat and watched with us. And until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.